Welcome to Exodus chapter 20 on Francis Reads the Bible. I think it's one of the most important chapters of Exodus and one of the most important chapters of the Bible. The Ten Commandments given by God. Sin. The commandments given by God, which when we commit, we know it is sin. And the first is God spoke, and these were his words. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, where you were slaves. Worship no God but me. Do not make for yourselves images of anything in heaven or on earth or in the water under the earth. This is what God asked for. Well, um, there are so many things that have become gods to some of us. Something we can't do without. It could be your phone. It could be social media. You know, Sometimes it could even be a person, like a husband, a wife, children. Make them gods. We worship them literally, like become obsessed with them. Like when you wake up, the first thing your hand goes to your phone instead of praying. Your hand is always on your phone. You're always checking social media. You're always pressing your phone, pressing. No time to read the Bible. No time to study the word. No time to pray. No time for anything, spiritual. If your phone gets missing, it feels like you're dead, because you can't do without it. So sometimes making gods or worshiping other gods, I think, and as always, these are my thoughts, is not just about maybe religion. Let's put it that way. It's not like, oh, even you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, even you're a Muslim, you worship the stars, the moon, traditional African traditional worshiper. No, you worship demons, Satan. No, it could be an object, just like our phones are objects, human beings are objects. You get what I mean? You get what my you get what I mean, Francis? So a god could be anything that we become so engrossed and so obsessed about, you can't do without, you can't stay without, and then you replace it with God, the creator. And then he went on to say, do not bow down to any idol or worship it, because I am the Lord your God and I tolerate no rivals. I bring punishment on those who hate me and on their descendants down to the third and fourth generation. But I show my love to the thousands of generations of those who love me and obey my laws. You know, and that's true. That's what happened to David. David was a man after God's own heart, sorry, and so much happened. God could have taken the kingdom away from David, but he did not. He lets his son Solomon have it, even though Solomon was the son of the wife. You know what happened with Solomon's mom, and he made Solomon king, gave Solomon wisdom. He could have taken the kingdom then after Solomon, because Solomon's son was not wise at all. But instead, the kingdom was split into two. 10 tribes went away and 2 tribes stayed with Solomon's son. He didn't let the kingdom move from the house of David, even though there were reasons to, because he made a covenant with David, and David was a man who loved him, a man after his own heart. He lets that blessing stay with descendants down to the third and the fourth generation and onward. You know, so yes, I believe that. Then do not use my name for evil purposes, for I, the Lord your God, will punish anyone who misuses my name. I think I'm guilty of this. When things we use God, my God, as exclamation, oh my God. That's taking God's name in vain. I don't think sometimes we realize it. Oh my God, sweet Jesus. I do sweet Jesus. Sweet Jesus. Okay, I've stopped that, but sweet Jesus. Sometimes some of us do it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ah, God. God. Just use as exclamation. And that's God's name. And then some of us, then you see situations of swearing, by God who made me. I swear by God who made me. I swear in the name of God. And then, you know, and then you still tell a lie. That's taking God's name in vain. You go to court, they tell you what's your religion, place a Bible before you, swear on the Bible, you take an oath, and you still lie with the name of God involved in it. I think all that is part of taking God's name in vain, and then observe the Sabbath and keep it holy. I think this has always confused me as a child. I think it's one part of the Ten Commandments people overlook, because the Sabbath then was Saturday, and now we go to church on Sundays. Well, I know the Seventh Day Adventists, they go to church on Saturdays, but I don't know who changed yeah, I remember who changed the calendar. It was from the church. Calendar was changed. Constant, yeah, calendar was changed. It now became Sundays instead of Saturdays. And lots of people say it's okay. It's the day of rest. It's now the agreed day of rest. But the day of rest God was referring to when He created the world, and in the Ten Commandments is Saturday, the Sabbath. You know, if we say God has not changed, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, why do we discount this part of the Ten Commandments? It's always been a crisis of faith for me. Like, should it be Saturday? Should it be Sunday? You know, because if God has not changed and His commands have not changed, and sin is still sin before God, why do we keep only Sunday holy, majority of Christendom, and discount the Sabbath, which is Saturday? I know Jews keep the Sabbath, but you get what I mean? Sabbath is Saturday, not Sunday. And if God is laying down His commandments, rest, why are we not keeping it? Because you have 6 days in which to do your work, but the seventh day is a day of rest dedicated to me. People like, the calendar has changed. The day of rest is now Sunday, so we worship God on Sundays. Was God consulted? I have no idea. On that day, no one is to work, neither you, your children, your slaves, your animals, nor the foreigners who live in your country. In 6 days, I, the Lord, made the earth, the sky, the seas, and everything in them. But on the seventh day, I rested. That is why I, the Lord, blessed the Sabbath and made it holy. As I was saying, Sabbath is Saturday, not Sunday. In the even in the new, in present calendar, the week starts on Sunday, not on Monday. But for work, people say it starts on Monday and Sunday is a day of rest. But what's happened to this Sabbath? Anyways, let me move on. I'm no pastor, but I don't understand why Christians don't still celebrate, the Sabbath, keeping the Sabbath Saturdays, aside for God. If we're going to be going by the Ten Commandments, which we've been asked to keep. So, next one is respect your father and your mother so that you may live a long time in the land that I'm giving you. I know sometimes it's hard because you might have the worst parents, be it a father or a mother, or some father who abandoned you, or parents who are terrible. No, but the command here is respect them. Respect them even if they don't deserve it. Respect does not mean let them kill you. Respect them so that you may live a long life. So the next one is do not commit murder. I know sometimes a lot of us think committing of murder or killing someone is just when we take a knife or a gun, we shoot the person and the person dies physically. It could all, I believe, and as always in my thoughts, I believe you can also murder someone spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. People come online and spew so much rubbish. They insult people, go kill yourself, you're this, you're that, you're that. And then people who verbally abuse people, people who psychologically and emotionally abuse people. You can kill someone's spirit and you've murdered the person. Sometimes it leads some people to suicide. If you get before God, that person killed themselves because you killed that person. Like, I didn't tell him to go and kill himself. But it was you killed the spirit and he killed his flesh. And as always in my thoughts, I don't think committing murder is just when you shoot someone or you take a knife and you kill their physical body. I think you can also kill someone verbally, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, you know? Do not commit adultery. Wow. In today's world, this is a part, adultery and fornication is a part that many overlook. They say, ah, that's old school. You know, times have changed. But God has not changed. Infidelity is on the high today. I know some marriages that have ended because of infidelity. You know, some people think a man cannot stay with one woman. You know, you have to have variety, eat a lot of different kinds of food and all that. But you took an oath before God, you know, and God expects sexual purity if you're not married. So you see, in today's world, it's really hard. It's really hard because even in the church, when you try to marry a brother or a sister as a Christian, they'll tell you, ah, I can't get married without tasting, no, as in I have to test drive. Are human beings now cars? You have to test drive. What happened to keeping the commandments of God? And then you see someone who commits fornication and adultery on Saturday, then they'll dress up, look their best, and go to church on Sunday and be speaking in tongues and be doing all that. Then they'll go back from church to go meet their boyfriend or girlfriend or their married mistress or married master, you know, after church. Adultery, fornication, sexual sins, even masturbation are on a high today. Very high, you know. I think I have videos on my YouTube channel, Francis Okeke, about how to deal with sexual urges. I have a whole podcast on sex. You could go check it out. Do not steal. Hmm. This is another one. I'm Nigerian, and people always feel the only people who steal are the politicians who steal billions of naira and trillions. But then you, who is that local market woman, that man who does business, who owns a provision store or something, that mechanic, and you lie. That's one thing that is missing in this Good News translation. Do not lie. I'm going to do that after this. This is a different version of the Bible. This is Good News translation. I've not seen do not lie. I think I didn't screenshot it well. Anyway, do not steal. Stealing could be 5 naira. It could be 1 naira. It could be a seed of granite. As long as it is not yours, you have no right to take it. People just feel, oh, it's only theft when it's something huge. No. Even if it's a pack of gums, a pack of cigarettes, stone, as long as you know it is not yours, or you go to your neighbor's farm or compound and start taking leaves, fruits and whatnot without even asking for their permission, I'm sorry, but you stole. The same judgment that will fall on you for stealing that tiny fruit, that tiny apple, is the same judgment that will fall on the same person who stole billions of naira or dollars. Stealing is stealing. There is no big, there is no small. A thief is a thief. And then do not tell lies. I think I skipped that unintentionally when I was screenshotting. Do not tell lies. Yes, lying is a simple like, oh, it's just a white lie. It's just a small lie. There's no white lie. There's no small lie. A lie is a lie and it is a sin. I think lies are one of I not I think I know lies are one of my um deal breakers. I can't stand lies. I can't stand liars. A liar can kill, a liar can steal, a liar can do so many things. A liar can commit adultery, a liar can a lie. That's why God called our Lord Jesus Christ called the devil the king of the father of all liars. You know, a lie is a lie, no matter how little. It's just a small lie. It's just some. It's not serious. Oh, before God, it is serious. You lied. Just like I said about stealing, even if you stole a seed of groundnuts and that person stole billions or trillions of naira or dollars, a thief is a thief, a liar is a liar, no matter how big or how small you think it is. So a lie is a lie. stealing is stealing. Do not accuse anyone falsely. This is one that's on in this age of social media, people overlook it. How do I mean? You come online, you're not even sure about that celebrity gist or whatever happened. You start talking about that as if you know what happened. Oh, it's not this one I used to sleep around. Oh, she's this, she's that. You're accusing someone falsely. Even if they are celebrities or whatnot, you're not sure. You don't have the full information. You're not sure. You don't have the full information. You just come online and start saying, "Oh yeah, she's this, she's that. I heard, I know." Like that's accusing someone falsely. That's also part of it, but lots of put it online these days. Without even being sure, they just talk like they know. That's false accusation. And then those who do things and go lie that someone else did it. It's wrong. That's accusation. Oh, did you not hear that she slept with Senator this and Governor this and how? That's false accusation. I know in legal terms they call it libel or libel and what other things, defamation of character. That's false accusation, and it's a sin before God. I think sometimes we really need to be careful with the way we respond to things online. When we just feel like we are typing and we're not seeing it, as long as you're typing it and you're thinking it, you're actually committing the sin. You know, you feel you're online and it's faceless, but God saw you. God does not think it's online and it's faceless. You are saying it, you're typing it out. You're thinking that you're typing it out. God is just watching. Oh, see what she's saying. You know. So do not desire another man's house. Do not desire his wife, his slaves, his cattle, his donkeys, or anything else that he owns. People just be like, it's just envy. Envy is a sin. When you desire it, you think it in your heart, it's a sin. Just like even adultery or fornication, you don't have to actually bring out your sexual organs and whatnot. As long as you think it in your heart with that man's wife, that whoever it is, whether you're single or married, you've had sex with that person in your mind. You've committed adultery. You've desired another man's wife. You've desired his house. You've desired, you know, envy, jealousy, all those things. They're sins. And then some people now desire and now go after it. They covet it. They go and take it, just like Ahab and his wife Jezebel did to Naboth's vineyard. You know, so it's a sin. You can say, "Oh wow." When I see things that I want, or someone else like, "Wow, I'm so happy for you that God has blessed you like this." I pray and I believe that one day, me too. And I look away. I know. So then, when the people heard, it's so much to talk about in this chapter, but I'm trying my best to make it small, not too long. So when the people heard the thunder and the trumpet blast and saw the lightning and the smoking mountain, they trembled with fear and stood a long way off. They said to Moses, "If you speak to us, we will listen, but we are afraid that if God speaks to us, we will die." Well, I wish they had gone to listen to God and God had spoken to them by himself. If not, the next chapter or two wouldn't have happened. Moses replied, "Don't be afraid. God has only come to test you and make you keep on obeying him so that you will not sin." But the people refuse to go close to God. Well, I can imagine thunder, trumpets, lightning, dark clouds, stormy. Well, that's frightening, anyways. So the Lord commanded Moses to tell the Israelites, "You have seen how I, the Lord, have spoken to you from heaven. Do not make for yourself," as in, have to repeat. This one is really important to God. This worshipping of other gods. I know recently my phone has been an issue, and I'm trying to work on it. Do not make for yourselves gods of silver or gold to be worshipped in addition to me. Make an altar of earth for me, and on it sacrifice your sheep and your cattle as offerings to be completely burned, and as fellowship offerings. In every place that I set aside for you to worship me, I will come to you and bless you. If you make an altar of stone for me, do not build it out of cut stones, because when you use a chisel on stones, you make them unfit for my use. Do not build an altar for me with steps leading up to it. If you do, you will expose yourselves as you go up the steps. I'm not sure they had undergarments then, but still. Well, this part is just showing the importance of altars for God, a place of worship. You know, your altar could be anywhere really. It could be your bedroom, it could be your restroom, it could be your car. The place where you go to sit and meet God in silence. So altars are important. That's what I think, or I'm learning from this. Like as always, this is my thoughts. So altars are important. So God is very particular about not worshiping, distractions, you being obsessed, you being overtaken by some for some people it could even be food, you know, or movies. I'm not a social media person per se. Like I could be offline for weeks, even though I have to post, but my phone is an issue. And it's not even to go view social media. Funny enough. I'm working on it. For many of us, our idols could be anything, really. Food, that drink, alcohol, something you can't do without. You're so addicted to it. You can't. It could even be people, it could be anything really. And I believe when you ask God, what's the Holy Spirit, what's my idol? What's that thing that distracts me from you? He'll tell you. Yeah. And then you can start working on it. Idols. It can even be something you want. Like it can even be money. It could even be marriage. Maybe you're looking for marriage. You're hoping to get married. It could be anything. Idols could be anything. You know. And then, like I said, the importance of altar, a place where you can go to meet God and worship. So, as always, these are my thoughts. God bless you. And I'm not a pastor or anything. I'm just reading my Bible and sharing my thoughts. See you next time. Bye.